Good afternoon sa inyong tanan. Ang Ginoo mo nanda sa iyo. I'm really happy to see smiling faces. And even though we've got other problems around here, nahulog din niya po sa rin ni Mariani nga deformer. Kaya tingnan na sa rin deformer Ghost Project Coordinator. Anyway, our topic now will be submission to authority. Ito naman ang tingnan sa isang group or organization who has a culture of following orders, following directives. In the BCLP, we have also culture. Maybe it's much different from other organizations or your former organizations. But now that we are here, we will be guided by this principle of submission to authority. Basically, primero, siguro ato na distinguish what is submission and what is authority. Sa halip na nasabi, authority is a body or the organization, just like the BCLP. In the house, it's a group who has the power to determine directives, policies, and rules. On the other hand, submission means comply, to obey. And to obey what? The directives, the policies, the rules given by the body organization. And this will be very healthy and the culture and submission to authority. Background, importante din. Submission with the organizations at Oriana is necessary. But it does not come with a blind, servile obedience. Sometimes, bisa na suko sa ating ala, ihit ka, bisa na nagtahihin na. The leaders or the authority that gives these directives are in position not because of his own prerogative, but because of God's direction or provision. Limutan ka sa posisyon, hindi rin galing ng lato, hindi ka ng Diyos. Or sometimes permitted or directed. In the discipline, obedience to leaders is a basic element. In Ephesians 5, verses 18 to 21. Leaders, though imperfect as they are not in their positions, they submit to one another out of reverence to Christ. In that land, submission to authority is filled with the Spirit. In the BCLP, was like in 1 Peter chapter 5, verse 5, in the same way, you younger men must be obedient to the leaders or to the elders. In your relation with one another, clothe yourselves with humility, because God is stern with the arrogant, but humble with show humble, compassion, kindness. Dito siningan mo mga pusa mo kadali. Yung may lamang istorya. When I was chapter 8 of bio, there was a time na sitting at the anniversary. We invited our guest speaker from Manila. And kami sa Mapikon, si Bro John Catania, si as our guest speaker. Pansan ito naman ako, direct pa ang mga sa kalay, diretso, magtaklawan. So what we do is klawan sa dito. I remember the governance whom I told nga, pwede ka magtatapon. Without question, nagsaling na siya, tama na, gasolina or whatever. And wala problema. So, tinungan siya. He went there to Tacloban. May dito kakar na siya si John Katan Gintapo. After eating their breakfast, nag-decider ng muli. On the way, nakinarapang sila. High vision trees. And it came out na si John Katan is to Mapikon. Nasa plan to open Mapikon ng bayo. Parang kumonsider niya yung turot. Si Tatang Boy kakain. Kaya si Tatang. Boy was the one who nagpakad to. Siya ang binuo. He submitted to authority without questions. And resurrected. The Lord is stern sa dagiri. Kung saan nakunta. But He shows kindness sa tao. So, the rest of the story, si Boy na, one hands ang Mapikon, ang Mapikon is still progressing in the Bible. Simple lang, no? Okay. Pero, submission to authority is not always that's good. May nini, puro balabag. Primero, a reaction to previous culture or previous group. Sabi nga mo, sa purpose of the previous organization, ikaw almost magkapagdini, dinari member ka, then suddenly isugo ka, pwede ka kumapalitan dito sa something para sa lahat organization. Na resist, may reaction din sa purpose. Second, rebelliousness found in the world today. Kanya naman panahon, may nakita mga kadiri na para istoryahan mo. Buko si kalibutan, mga nestor na uwan-uwan na kita kayo because of our religiousness. Kasi di ba ito mao? Nga ito, sign papaton sa religiousness. Kaya kung may uwan, may uto, utri, upor. Di ba iba yung atong buhay? This false notion of humility. Dapat ito po. Karaw. Actually, dito karaw. In my experience, meron sa akin sila rin, priest na sila. That's not humility. That's selfishness. Kinahakot mo ang magturo. And that's very clear. Next, a negative reaction to correction and direction. Na di ka naroyan ng dalan, di ka po naroyan susunod. You know, in the BCLP, that's why this is called a healthy organization. Kaya, if you are corrected, it's for a purpose. May nakita sa iyong authority na dapat itago. And finally, fried chicken. Oh, ito ang number one with fried chicken. These are the reasons of resistance to authority. Resist authority in the BCLP, submission to authority, submission to authority, submission to the BCLP, submission or authority in the BCLP. First, authority. Authority in the BCLP is a gift of the Lord for unity and direction. Magsubig ka natin, tumuot ka, that's for a good relationship. Next, the service to lead the group to function as one. Talagang lang is ito, authority is para ang grupo nila magkakita niya mag-group lang. Finally, para magkarosa to a goal. Then, pagbantay sa pattern of life. We can say na kita tagal din yung puta. Fine, din, bisan nga niya, bukos nga basket sa panabon, may dala na yung doon, may applicable. So this is being guarded by the authority na patterns na dinabuhi. Di rin mapaliwala at nakaraw pa. Then, to see that our goals are acted upon. Our goal is to become a member of the BCLP and to bring our life closer to the Lord. May nakilala na members ng BCLP na nagsusunod, BCLP t-shirt, pero tinadala na ito sa bulangan. Punta na ito parang, look. That's why authority must tell you, why ito nga nga BCLP, so sorry na. You cannot give your t-shirt to anybody who's not a member of the BCLP. Kay, ikaw din sa bulan ng iyong t-shirt na sirili sa iyong buhutan ng tapos. Ano? The authority of God, the power of the authority, or the power of that authority is to solve problems. Definitely, there is a gaping sa the authority or there is to solve problems. And to take care of the persons under the AJL, UL, and honestly, up to the higher level. That's why kinanglan na dapat authority must also be clear and submission must also be clear. Pero kung subukan ka, katulad sa play, dito na sa anunsya, tapos tinuro ka, that's already your prerogative. Already tumawan submission sa BCLP. In the BCLP, the head is not necessarily the person who implements decision. Kaya kung nagkaroon niya ng decision siya makakuha, pareho, hindi ang decision. You know that, hindi na explica. And the head is not always the person who does all the work or takes all the responsibilities. Mga divide by. That's why even my hierarchy. Kaya English na po, hierarchy. Hierarchy. Let's go on. So mission basically is an active relationship. Tiri ka mga kasumit sa nimo, kalwala yung naman sa nimo, authority, kung wala kang mobile na relationship. That's why, kung mobile leader, and mobile at mo, isusunod, there will be a good relationship. It's personal between the member and the leader. AJL, sa niyang mga member. Pero dia dihidikler na puro siya mandat, dia sinisabi na ito, diktador. It is a spirit within, and the spirit of it will permeate those sa him. And the leader cares for the fact as they must care, they must care, cooperate, and support the leader. One two-way traffic, there is a one-way traffic. Kasi kanina si Mariam appreciated niya na ito, resolving disagreements between member. Antes ito mag-istorya ako na, may lang na membro, bago na siya ng libro, pero di pa kilala, bisa na nakita ko talaga, di pa kilala. Nagkirinta sa nagkado, i-birthday nga yung maringan ng mga saring, happy birthday. Mawala, hindi ka, iya ito, din. Tanong sa kasing-kasing. Wala na sumunod sa action. Iya, one member to the other, wala yung sila magkanta. So, yan na pala ang warning nga sa iyo. It's always normal nga hearing it about tumay. But if that happens, bro, di mo parang dali sa galang. Bro, sis, okay na ito. Diba? The brotherhood is composed of cross-section of people with different backgrounds and customs. However, they will all have something in common. Yan ang hindi, because of something in common. They love for God and they love to be in the community. They love for God and subject to His will. Disagreements are possible without the need to be disagreeable. Pwede natin pag-debate, pwede natin sinong bagay. In prayer and humility, those who have disagreements should try to resolve differences with an common denominator and humility and love for God. The parties can avail of their AGLs to mediate the conflict. Kung di rin naging inayos, andong go to the AGL. Let the AGL mediate. Sa Biblia na sila na kung may dapat na siya, sinangaan ng isang tao, kumprontahan ng tao. Kung di rin ka magdituhan, pamilig sa isang tao ng mga kamuling, pagsulungan sa iyo. That's the jail. Jadi pa nga yung manala, it goes up. It goes up. The parties can avail of their AGL to mediate the conflict. And if the problem remains unresolved, they can go all the way from unit leader to group. Okay. Any problema sa member to member, member to union, member to higher level, kung di rin masulbar, sumala sa kadakuan sa problema, you can go up to the upper level. Both are human, subject to errors in judgment. Then, go to the hierarchy. Kung di rin makaya sa AGL, chapter head. Kung di rin makaya sa chapter head, bring it to the AMD or the RCD. And the RCD to the AMD. Pero waray pa inabot din yung problema sa BCLP. May inabot sa ibaw na waray magkasagot. Basta, there is always that humility. Diri ko na halabaw ng naman pangulog, diri mo na pero I will tell you this. If problems is service and cannot be resolved in the chapter, as I said, request for hearing with the AMD was the final say. And that's the area managing director. Bueno, ang istorya ko mag-boy kanina, di rin kung usahan na ito mo din yung submission to the authority that seemingly or has resulted to the betterment of boy. Makita ko ito ng sample because from time to time may susulungan sa ato. In the same way nga, retire na punta akin sa bagay mo pinakatulog. Pag sirisa na ako anak ni Boy, na you should talk sa CLP 20, you know that I submitted to that authority. Thank you and good evening.